Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday if you are here with me live. I am so thrilled. We are going to have an action packed live today where we talk about a few reasons to raise your rate and how to do it without seeming like a jerk. And I want to start today by introducing myself. My name is Laura Khalil. I'm the founder of Brave by Design, and I am maniacally focused on helping women get more 5 and 6 figure contracts in their business. So if that is something that you're interested in, you're in the right spot. I want to say hello to everyone in the comments that I'm seeing. It is so good to have you here with me. And if you have questions as I'm going through this live, feel free to pop them in the comments. I will do my best to get to them. If I don't respond to them during the live, I will definitely respond in the comments afterwards. So, raising your rates. It is stressful. It is scary. And sometimes we can fear that maybe our clients might not want to work with us if we raise our rates. I'd love to hear if from you all, if this is a fear that you've experienced or something that you've gone through, and how you feel when you have to raise your rates. Let me know in the comments about that. I definitely have felt a lot of fear and concern about it in the past. So our discussion today is all about how to make that a little less scary. So let me pull up your comments first as I am talking so I can make sure that I'm here with you as well. Okay. Give me 1 second, friends. This is the excitement of doing things live. Okay. Yes, paying high-paying clients can feel stressful. So let's talk about a few ways that we can raise our rates. First thing I want to discuss with you is one totally legitimate reason to raise your rate is if you want to reach a different clientele. So let's think of it this way. We all need to wear socks, right? Or shirts. And you have an option. In the real world, we can go buy our shirt at Walmart or Target, or I can go buy my socks and shirt at Neiman Marcus or, probably even Dior or Chanel. Still buying a piece of clothing that suits a particular need, but it's at a vastly different price point. That's reaching a vastly different clientele. So if you want to reach a different clientele, raising your rates can actually help put you into the ballpark to attract the right clientele. Chanel clients, Dior clients, they're not going to Target, they're going to Dior and Chanel because they want to pay that amount of money. They want that kind of experience. They want that sort of brand to be associated with. And you can do the same thing in your business. Sometimes we think about rates in the sense of, I need to be cheap enough for people to work with me. But if you're cheap enough for people to work with you, you're only attracting people who want cheap things. Remember, people value when people value things that have a cost associated with them. The cheaper the cost, the less value it has. I think we've all heard about fast fashion, for example, where you can go to Forever 21, buy something for 10, $20 a shirt. You may only keep it for the season. You may actually get rid of it after a year because it doesn't really matter. As opposed to something that costs you several $100s, that's really a keepsake that really matters to you. So if you want to reach a different clientele, raising your rates is a very effective way to consider doing that. Second way you can consider raising your rates is if you have passed an internal benchmark. Now, these benchmarks are different for everyone, but I'll give you a really pretty simple example that I see a lot. So I work with women who want to get book solid in their business without hustling, without going crazy and hitting that $250,000 mark, right? So you want to get book solid. Well, what happens when you get book solid? you actually have the ability to raise your rates. Because if you have a stream of clients coming into you, then you have built a business that can afford to raise its rates. So if you have a stream of clients coming to you, you've passed an internal benchmark, you can raise your rates. And probably you should raise your rates. If you are not book solid and you are still thinking, well, how can I raise my rates and I'm not yet book solid? Okay, I've got a solution for that one too. If you can, my personal benchmark, and yours may be different, but my personal benchmark is if I can sell something 5 times at one rate, I've earned the right to raise the rate. So if 5 people buy a product or service that I offer at a specific rate, I've earned the right to raise the rate. I've learned that now I've got some results, I've got some social proof, I've refined the process, I've gotten better, I've earned the right to raise the rate. That's another way to think about it. Brenda says something really interesting here. I've started converting my free webinars to paid webinars and I'm finding much better conversion rates. Exactly. Free, I mean, this is free right now. We're having a fun time here chatting, but people really value paid. If you really want someone to value something, charging for it, you're not going to get everyone, but you're going to get higher quality. So I recommend we think about that. The third reason it's wise for us to consider raising our rates is economic conditions. And if you are in North America right now, and frankly, this may be affecting other parts of the world, we are experiencing record levels of inflation. In fact, I just saw that I think in the US, our inflation is up by close to 9%. So that affects you. That affects your cost of living, that affects your business. And correspondingly, you may want to consider raising your rates because of it to afford your lifestyle. Recession is another reason we can consider raising rates or changing rates. So economic conditions are a very valid reason to change your rates. Another reason, and I sort of alluded to this earlier with passing an internal benchmark. Number 4, you're in demand and overbooked. If you have booked yourself solid, you have earned the right to raise your rates. Okay, so you can afford to ask for more. Now, what happens when we ask for more money? We may lose some clients in the process, but you're still going to be making the same money, if not more, and working less. So that is a great reason to consider raising your rates. One other wonderful reason, this is number 5 of our 6. And by the way, actually, let me pause right here because if you would like to know all 9 completely legitimate reasons for raising your rates, I'm actually going to put a link to that right now in the comments. So you can go learn all 9 of them at that link there. But let's make sure, yeah, that's going through. But let's go on to number 5. You have improved your skills. So you may have an additional certification, an additional degree, an additional training or qualification that has made you do your job better, makes you more effective. And that's a great reason, a wonderful reason to raise your rates. The 6th reason I want to talk about, and this is something I spend a lot of time with my Elevate members, is specialization and how specialization can really pay. The more specialized you are in your business, the higher rates you can command. Generalists are typically spread very thin and running themselves ragged. Specialization is where it pays. Specialization is how I built a $250,000 consulting business myself, working with some of the largest brands in the world. And specialization is how I help my clients to grow their businesses. Now, let me give you an example of what specialization looks like. So let me try to add this to the stream and see how I do here. Hey, there I am. So this is an example of how specialization can pay off. I want you to imagine a product called the time management product. Maybe it's a book, maybe it's a workshop, you sell it for 20 bucks. Great. Now let's take it one step further. If I just get a little more specialized with that product and I call it time management for sales professionals. Okay, so now I'm just talking about sales professionals. I'm not talking about busy moms. I'm not necessarily talking about people who work in healthcare or HR. I'm talking about sales. I can now charge a premium of $99. These are just examples, by the way. And these examples are from a book called, I believe it's called $100 Million Offers. It's a wonderful book. Uh, Next example, time management for outbound B2B sales professionals. Again, I'm taking that time management aspect and I'm getting even more specific. I'm not just targeting any sales professional, I'm targeting outbound sales professionals in B2B, and we can see that the price jumps again because you're offering something very targeted to that market. And with our highest price point tier, you can see we're still offering time management, but for outbound B2B sales professionals in a specific field, software as a service, we can take a product from $20 when it's for everyone to $19.97 when it's for a specific slice of the market, what I like to call your perfect slice. Talk more about that in Elevate. But it does that mean, and one question I get a lot when I bring up this slide for people to say, well, wait a minute, is that the same information? About 80% of it is the same information. Time management is time management is time management. However, we are going to add 20% that is specifically for that group, that specifically speaks to their fears, their concerns, and their challenges. And that's why you can charge a premium for it, because you are addressing something with them that nobody else has addressed. And that is worth a lot of money. So think about that when you think about specialization. Specialization is one of the greatest ways that you can actually raise your rates. And how can you get more specific in what you offer? So those are 6 of my favorite reasons for raising your rate. I have actually 9 totally legitimate reasons for raising your rate. You can find the link to learn those reasons. There's a tip sheet I've just put in the chat. You can go get that at that link ahead. And I want to thank you for joining me for this live. This was so much fun. If you'd love to learn more about me, head on over to bravebydesign.net or send me a DM. I'd love to learn from you. Friends, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday, and thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time.